So, my name is Shreya, and I'm doing my topic on emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is a really prevalent issue in today's age in society. I've asked a lot of people on if they've ever been emotionally abused, and a good number of people have said they've been in an emotionally abusive friendship or relationship, and that's just in Rockridge. I didn't really ask any other people or adults because of that, and I found an interesting statistic. It's said that 1 in 3 people get emotionally abused in their lifetime, so it's a really prevalent issue, and I've also been in emotionally abusive friendships, so this topic means a lot to me. So I want to get started on what a healthy relationship means first, because we should all know what a healthy relationship means. A healthy relationship is basically when there's an equal power balance. So they make decisions together, and they really don't, there's no power imbalance, and they trust each other, they rely on each other, and they make each other happy. They also give each other personal space, and it's basically a relationship found on respect and friendship. And so the second, so I want to, so like the a healthy, so a toxic relationship is basically the opposite of a healthy relationship. It's when there's a power imbalance. So one person has too much power, and they use that power to manipulate the other person or make the other person feel weak and vulnerable, because the abuser has problems in their life where they want to invalidate other people's feelings. So an emotional abuse is basically an act of confinement, isolation, assault, humiliation, intimidation, or any other treatment where the abuser tries to minimize the feelings of the victim, and they make the victim feel really isolated. So signs that you're in an emotionally abusive relationship is when the person is really dependent on you, and if you really can't help them in that given moment, they get really upset at you, and they get really mad at you, and they really don't understand why you can't help them. This is really unhealthy, because in a relationship you're supposed to have personal space, and the other person will try to understand you if you really can't help them in a healthy relationship. But in a toxic relationship or emotionally abusive relationship, they just care about themselves, and they really don't care about your needs and your desires. And the second is when they isolate you from your friends and family because they feel jealous, and that's a really bad sign, because you really can't spend time with people you like and enjoy to spend time with, because you're catering to the needs of the abuser, and the abuser doesn't care about your feelings. And the third one is when they demand to spend all your time together, and so basically, like I said, this ties back into personal space. In a healthy relationship, there's supposed to be personal space, but in an emotionally abusive relationship, the person's really dependent on you, and they really don't care about your feelings, and they really try to minimize your self-worth. If you don't want to spend time with them, they may accuse you of cheating or lying if you don't want to spend time with them. And the fifth and the last and final sign is when you call them out on their abuse and they get mad at you. They can either gaslight you, which means they act like their behavior never happened, or they try to minimize it, saying that it wasn't that bad and you're just being over dramatic or too sensitive. So emotional abuse, like any other types of abuse, it comes in a cycle. So the first cycle is when tensions start building. So this is when you start to feel tensed, and the abuser starts to get mad at you or frustrated with you. And then this leads directly to the second stage, where where the abuse happens. They can isolate you from your friends and family, they can yell at you, they can scream verbal assaults at you, and they can intimidate you with their power. And the third stage is when they say sorry, but the thing is, they really don't feel sorry about their actions. They feel sorry that you don't want to spend time with them because of the emotional abuse. So they're basically apologizing for the consequences that came with their abuse. They're not apologizing because of the emotional abuse, because, like I said, they only care about themselves. They really don't care about your feelings and your thoughts. And the fourth stage is when a lot of people get mixed up on. They think that because in this stage they act extra charming, it's known as the honeymoon phase, they act charming, they really give you lavish gifts and they treat you well, and a lot of people get confused in this stage because they think that the abuser actually cares about them, but they really don't. They're only doing this to win back your trust and affection, when in reality they're gonna go ahead and start abusing you after another period of time. So the effects of emotional abuse is when you only do things to make your partner happy. You stop doing things that make you happy. So let's just say you like to watch movies and your partner really doesn't like to watch certain movies. You start giving that up because of them. They really and that's because they don't care about your interests, and they think your interests are stupid, and they think you should do whatever they want to do. Like I said, that ties back into a power imbalance and them invalidating your feelings. And the second one is when you feel like you can't do anything right. That comes with them trying to minimize your self-worth and dignity. So they can do this by yelling at you, saying that you're stupid, or call you, like, basically bully you. So that's another stage where a lot of people suffer from emotional abuse that I've seen personally. And the third one is when they cling to the abuser more. I think this is one of the most common signs that goes unnoticed, because when you usually see clingy relationships or friendships, I think it should be really concerning, because like I said, like in a healthy relationship, you need to have personal space, and if they're really dependent on each other, that means the abuser, they've really manipulated the victim into thinking that they need them, into thinking the victim needs them in their life when they actually don't. And the last and final sign is depression and withdrawal, which ties back to everything, like the abuser emotionally abusing them and validating their feelings. They feel like they don't matter, and they feel like their feelings don't matter. So if you're in an emotionally abusive relationship, there's always ways you can get out of it. You can go to a trusted adult in the school. I'm pretty sure counselors are more than willing to help, or you could go to a teacher, or you could go to loveisrespect.org, and there's a free online chat there for tips to get out of an emotionally abusive relationship. Yeah.